Men people please too. That's the reality. People pleasing is a coping mechanism that we develop in childhood when the adults in our lives don't seem to be approving of us. Perhaps what we want, what we need, what we're saying, what we're complaining about, what we're feeling isn't acceptable. There's loads of reasons for this. This is not a sign of bad parenting at all. This is a sign of life in the way that it is. And we all know that children have to learn that they won't always get what they want. So what happens is, if the parent seems very much under pressure, perhaps there's some adverse childhood experiences going on. There may be somebody who's unwell, or there may be domestic abuse or a cycle of abuse. There may be financial hardship. There may be mental health, physical health, bereavement, all sorts of things going on. And so the child learns to push their feelings to one side so as not to upset the adult. They become vigilant to what other people want rather than what they want. And often what this is called is teaching kids that they can't just get what they want. And that's true. That is a life lesson. And it's a good life lesson. But when it becomes a habit, when it becomes a pattern, when it becomes the only way that you are, when you've forgotten what your own needs and feelings are, or it's so long since you've been asked that you have acquired the idea that to have feelings, to have needs, to be lonely, to be distressed, to be upset because the life that you planned seems to be changing and you don't have any control over it. When we learn that those feelings are not acceptable, actually we stop having those feelings. Sometimes they get cut away. And very often men have been told that they don't talk about their feelings. But actually, if you look, and this is what I've seen in 25 years of working, there's an epidemic of people not talking about their feelings. And then we're raising a younger generation, rather brilliantly, to talk about their feelings. And it's confronting because we were told not to talk about our feelings, or that if we were doing it, we were being a brat, being difficult, being spoiled. Now we're raising children to talk about their feelings, and that's a good thing. But what we're hearing from our kids is they don't necessarily like the way we're raising them, and they don't like what's going on, or they're not happy. And then that in itself becomes quite confronting. So I wanted to jump on and say, men are people pleasers too. And if you are a man who is people pleasing, that means that there's difficult conversations that you don't know how to have, that you didn't learn how to have, that you can learn how to have. People who work with me learn how to have those conversations. Please DM me if this resonates with you. Take care.